Hey Spurs fans, welcome back to another update on our San Antonio Spurs. Before we jump into today's breaking news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And here's something special for you. Everyone who subscribes and leaves a comment with their name and the city they're watching from will automatically be entered into our giveaway to win an official San Antonio Spurs jersey. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment your name and city below. Stay tuned, because the next Spurs fan wearing the jersey could be you. In the quiet hours before sunrise, when the city of San Antonio still sleeps beneath a veil of warm Texas air, a tremor has begun to ripple through the heart of the basketball world, a whisper that is growing into a thunderous roar. Harrison Barnes, one of the most respected and steady presences in the league, has officially announced his departure in the San Antonio Spurs. Long known for their calm precision and strategic foresight, suddenly find themselves at the epicenter of an unexpected storm, one that could redefine the identity of the franchise for years to come, leaving fans glued to their screens, replaying every rumor, every interview, and every cryptic social media post in search of clues about what is coming next. For a franchise built on stability, discipline, and loyalty, the news of Barnes' exit has hit like an earthquake beneath the AT&T Center, shaking not only the current roster, but also the collective consciousness of the fan base, who had grown accustomed to his veteran presence, his ability to perform under pressure, and his role as a silent leader in the locker room. And now, as he steps away from the Spurs, a sense of both apprehension and electric anticipation fills the air, because in the NBA, every ending is the prelude to an even bigger beginning. The Spurs organization, historically defined by its methodical approach, is suddenly thrust into a moment of raw, unfiltered uncertainty. Yet within that uncertainty lies opportunity, and insiders close to the front office are hinting that this was no impulsive change, no chaotic separation, but rather a calculated move in a much larger plan that has been meticulously crafted behind closed doors. A plan that could open the door for younger, more explosive talent to rise and for the franchise to reshape itself in accordance with a fast-moving, modern NBA landscape. Barnes' departure isn't just the loss of a skilled forward. It is the departure of a mentality, a tone setter, a player who embodied professionalism and balance. And as his empty locker symbolically echoes through the practice facility, the question on everyone's mind becomes louder. What exactly are the Spurs preparing for? And who's going to step into the void left by a man who brought more than just points and rebounds, but also wisdom, composure, and championship DNA to the court? The buzz surrounding the organization has intensified to near fever pitch, with speculation spreading across media outlets, fan forums, and analyst panels, each theory more dramatic than the last, as some claim that the Spurs are clearing space for a blockbuster acquisition, while others suggest this signals a deeper rebuild centered around speed, athleticism, and raw, youthful potential. A marked shift from the controlled style that defined the Duncan Parker-Ginobili era and carried the franchise into basketball immortality. In interviews brimming with carefully selected words, members of the Spurs front office have remained intentionally vague, speaking about new visions and future flexibility, phrases that seem innocent on the surface but glow with subtext in a league where every syllable is dissected for hidden meanings, and where even the slightest hint of change can spark massive reactions, leaving fans wondering if the departure of Barnes is the first domino in a series of moves that could reshape the entire Western Conference landscape. On social media, reactions have poured in from current and former players, from Hollywood celebrities, and from die-hard fans who grew up wearing the silver and black, many expressing sadness over Barnes' exit, but just as many voicing a wild, untamable excitement about what this might mean for the Spurs' next chapter. Because in sports, moments of disruption often give birth to legendary transformations, and San Antonio has always had a way of rising from uncertainty with renewed strength. The locker room, once anchored by Barnes' quiet consistency, now feels like a blank canvas, waiting for fresh leadership to emerge, and young players suddenly realize that the future belongs to them, that the absence of a veteran is not a loss but a challenge, a golden invitation to step forward assert dominance, and define what it truly means to be a Spur in a generation that will be watched, judged, and compared to the great dynasties that preceded it. For head coach and staff, this moment is both daunting and invigorating, as they are granted an opportunity to reconstruct the emotional and tactical framework of the team, to sculpt a new identity around speed, innovation, and fearlessness, and to transform the uncertainty brought on by Barnes' departure into fuel for a resurgence that few saw coming but many secretly hoped for. Behind the scenes, closed-door meetings have reportedly intensified, with scouts traveling more frequently, analytics teams diving deeper into performance data, and trade conversations reaching a new level of urgency, suggesting that Barnes' exit is just one piece of a far more complex puzzle that, once solved, could shock the entire league and propel the Spurs back into championship contention faster than anyone dared to imagine. Before we go on, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Your support keeps our Spurs coverage strong and brings you the latest updates straight from San Antonio. And jump into the comments. Tell us what you think about today's news. What makes this situation even more intriguing is the timing, as the league is currently experiencing an unusual balance of power, with super teams dissolving, new stars emerging, and franchises desperately searching for stability, making the Spurs' position more powerful than it appears on the surface. Because in chaos, those who act with precision often emerge as kings of a new order. As talk shows debate endlessly and analysts draw up hypothetical lineups and trade scenarios, one truth becomes increasingly clear. Harrison Barnes leaving San Antonio is not a story about loss. It is a story about transformation, about shedding an old skin and stepping boldly into an uncertain, yet thrilling future that is packed with possibility. And in the world of professional basketball, that kind of narrative is pure gold. Fans now wait breathlessly for the next announcement, the next press conference, the next jersey reveal, each moment accompanied by a massive wave of speculation that pulses through the internet. And with every tick of the clock, the mythos around the Spurs grows larger, turning this roster change into a full-blown saga that has captured the imagination of the sports world. Even rival franchises are paying close attention, aware that San Antonio is a sleeping giant capable of awakening at any moment, and Barnes' departure is seen by many executives as a warning sign that the Spurs are about to move aggressively in the pursuit of talent, synergy, and dominance, rekindling the competitive fire that once made them the most disciplined and feared unit in basketball. The atmosphere inside the city reflects this tension and excitement, as murals, sports bars, and street conversations all revolve around the same topic, creating a shared energy that echoes from downtown to the suburbs, uniting an entire community in anticipation of what promises to be one of the most significant chapters in the franchise's modern history. In a league driven by movement and momentum, standing still is the greatest risk, and by letting go of Harrison Barnes, the Spurs have chosen motion, risk, and evolution, signaling to the world that they are no longer content with safe middle ground, and that they are prepared to gamble on greatness in pursuit of a new golden era. Barnes, for his part, leaves behind not just memories, but a legacy of discipline and professionalism that will undoubtedly influence those who remain, and his presence will be felt long after his final game in a Spurs jersey, serving as both inspiration and challenge to the next generation who must now step up and carry the standard he helped maintain. The tension between nostalgia and optimism is almost tangible, and it is this emotional collision that makes the situation so captivating, because while fans mourn what has ended, they also crave what is about to begin, and in that space between past and future, the Spurs are quietly preparing something that could change the trajectory of the franchise forever. Rumors are swirling of potential signings, surprise trades, and strategic draft maneuvers, all pointing toward an aggressive new direction that aligns with the evolving pace of the NBA. And while nothing is officially confirmed, the energy around the team suggests that the quiet, calculated machine in San Antonio is once again in motion, aligning its pieces for a major strike. The narrative becomes even more cinematic as camera crews, journalists, and vloggers descend upon the city, eager to capture every subtle reaction, every nervous smile, every closed-door whisper, turning this period of transition into a living drama that blurs the line between sport and spectacle, between strategy and storytelling. Deep in the heart of this unfolding story lies one undeniable truth. The departure of Harrison Barnes has ignited a fire within the Spurs organization, a hunger to evolve, to surprise, to prove to the world that they are still a force that can redefine the game, set new standards, and once again etch their name into the most glorious pages of basketball history. As each new day dawns, hope grows stronger, speculation becomes bolder, and the excitement deepens because when a franchise as storied as the Spurs stands on the edge of reinvention, the world cannot help but watch, waiting for that one defining moment, that one monumental decision that will announce to everyone that San Antonio is back, and this time, more dangerous, more daring, and more determined than ever before. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of every exclusive San Antonio Spurs news drop, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And don't forget, your opinion matters to Spurs Nation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.